Welcome back, everybody. And here we are today with the 1989 Dodge Caravan SE that I bought from Copart. This January. And we had it finally brought to us in February. And here we are today in April. It's a very nice day today. You know, grass is starting to turn green, sun's out, the wind's calm. You know, we're chilling today. And I got some time, and we need to start taking care of this van. And by that I mean disassembling it for every possible part we could maybe use in the future. And then putting it on the scrap trailer after we deal with you notice the pile of stuff on there. That's the winter scrap. There's a bunch of tires, there's a fuel tank. So like the metal stuff will come off of that, but there's also a couch on there. That all needs to get taken to the landfill and whatever. Need to dispose of that. And I've got a scrap pile here. So we've got this van, all the good parts on it that need to come off, go over here, take all this scrap, put it in here, put this on that. And that's going to be a longer process than one day here. I just want to start that process and kind of get some of this stuff off of here because we have a near identical van right there. No, not Barry. We've got Cherry, the 1990 Plymouth Voyager, that needs everything it could possibly get, minus that engine. But that's my goal today, is to take the drivetrain out of it because I need to get all of this stuff out of the way so I can start getting at some of this important stuff like bolts for the heater boxes, this brake line going across here, heater core lines, and all kinds of, you know, this has got some good stuff here, you know. And there's quite a few of you that were like, why don't you just save it? You know, you could use the rails off this other van and kind of put them on here. Well, the rails in that van are not very good. I don't know how well they would survive being cut off. But two, this thing doesn't have clean papers. It's got a salvage certificate. Cherry over there's got a clean Minnesota title in my name, and it's got plates. So that kind of seals the deal there. Not to mention, this thing will never be straight again. There's a lot of work. I don't have a frame machine. Hooking this to a tree is not going to fix this strut tower that's like this. You know, this van will never be straight again without some very, very professional work. Then that is something that I'm not willing to do. That's not what I bought the van for, you know, regardless. I bought this van for parts. I think I have more than enough parts here, and it also saves me a lot of time. Now that we're done with that ramble, let's, I think, get the Sawzall out. I think the starting play is Sawzalling this front upper rad support out of the way. Maybe we unbolt a couple things here that aren't completely broke yet, like this radiator and whatever. Just kind of unbolt the stuff here, and then we just kind of bang. You know, these are broke, so bang, and just kind of cut away and get full access to this engine. And I got a feeling we'll be cutting the motor mounts out. I mean, I guess I could try unbolt it, I suppose, huh? I present to you the single most important tool needed when disassembling a parts vehicle that will be scrapped, especially a wrecked one. I was going to unbolt these first, but we got to have a little bit of fun first, right? You know? It's just kind of... a bit of a warm up here. Make sure we're not going to hit any wires. Don't do that. That was a good start. I need a longer Sawzall blade is what I need.
Best music was on a disc. I had a bunch of records. I had CDs. Not in the cloud.
I still don't know where that is.
Alright, so I've gone ahead and I got everything disconnected from this upper rad support here. And we should be ready to kind of make a cut. I started making a cut with a too small of a blade. Don't do that. Anyway, I got the big blade here ready to go, just kind of saw this. You can see I just want to make sure we don't hit wires and stuff because we want to save all that. But I want to show you kind of what I'm starting to grab here, you know, as stuff that's good. So obviously this is no good, but that fan might be good if we can get it out of there, straighten it out, test it. I don't know, we'll see. This rad hose, this should be, it doesn't look like it's hit or anything. I think that'll be something we can save. But, you know, we're not looking at big ticket items. We're looking at small ticket items. This is stuff right here that when you need it, you'll never be able to find it. Like little pieces of hardware like this. These clips get expensive at the hardware store. Got a nice hood latch. The latch itself, the assembly, the spring, everything's good. Got to fix this bracket here, and that should be fine. Just kind of just go, you know, something like this. Little plastics here. This is a big ticket item here that I think is going to be all right. The outer casing is broke. But you should just be able to take the casing off a bad computer, i.e. the old one off the Voyager, and throw it on the front here, and that should be fixed. But that's a cha-ching right there. Right there. See that? 2007 remanufactured Mopar in the USA. There's some money right there. Otherwise, obviously that's a radiator core, you know, that's worth money. Stuff like that. You know, because I was about to sawzall through and I would have hit this hood release cable. That's some money right there. Well, that sure opens up a lot of space there. That was a problem getting that out because the AC condenser just absolutely sandwiched in here. So there's bolts up under here that I'm supposed to be able to get out to get this out. And that wasn't gonna ever happen. So that was a problem to get that out. Gotta save those rubber boots, right? Now I think I'm just gonna leave well enough alone. Well, I do gotta get that off of there, ideally, so I can scrap that core there, but I guess that's a problem for later, maybe. At least I can, it's mobile, I can bring it somewhere to do that. There, now we can kind of see what we got going on here. Well, I got the AC lines cut out of the way, and this thing must have been charged, because when this thing got wrecked, when it pushed this all back, it looks like it leaked it all out right there, because it's all fresh on there. So this thing must have had a charge in it. So that's a good sign for that compressor. Otherwise, I got this passenger headlight bulb. I just wanted to show you that this is an OEM headlight bulb from the 25th of August, 1988. It's still good, technically. Well, can't throw something like that away, right? That's kind of cool. I'm just going to set that there. And we'll just keep working away at it. Should be not too long. We've got to get the airbox kind of out of the way. Got to find all the wires and unhook them. Getting this harness out of here is going to prove to be a challenge, I think, because, well, there ain't all that much room there. she's kind of pinched in there pretty good. So I don't know. We'll see. I think I will probably be able to get it out. Try not to break these clips if we can help it. But maybe we'll just unclip them and then deal with them later. But that's going to be a bit of a problem. Get the wires off of this motor. It should be out of here pretty quickly. Not too bad anyway. All right, so I got this piece off here. Got that one vacuum line there. And here's that mythical pipe that seems to never exist on anything. So that goes up into the exhaust manifold there. And I think what that does is that heats the air coming in to the van when this is flipped. So this is like a cold switch or something probably. Anyway, I think it lets air flow through and kind of heats up the air coming in. So when it's super cold, it runs better. That's kind of, I think that's how that works anyway, something like that. Something else I want to note, there's that mythical EGR valve that we could not find anywhere. So hopefully that's not, it definitely got into the firewall, but hopefully it just, it's not ruined. Hard to say until we get it out. Well, I got a feeling this right here is probably why the van would not crank over. That sensor on the transmission, which I'm assuming is the neutral safety, or whatever, like the gear selector switch. One of the pins is busted off in here. This whole thing's busted. That's busted off. That's probably right here why it wouldn't start, or attempt to. Anyway, I got that all out of there. Kind of just working on getting this harness pulled. I think this strut tower is also tweaked inward too, because it was kind of hard to get this out, but I still got it out. But something tells me it's bent in this way. Yeah. Rough. I mean, here you get a really good view at this. Look at, like, that. It should probably be out to here in this area. That's really bad. Well, not quite that far, but you know what I'm saying. It's not good. It's really not good. Getting there though, can almost see the entire engine. Well, we got ourselves an engine harness that is, I'd say, in pretty decent shape. The only issues I had were the pins on the alternator here. These got pushed in and bent, and then they snapped. So I couldn't fix that. And then the trans plug, which I think will be okay. But otherwise, I still got the starter harness that's going to stay with the motor here when it comes out, because we're not going to mess with that. What? But that's all the electrical disconnected and out of the way. And something worth noting here is that this 89 trans mount is different. It appears to me to be the older style mount. And mine, my 90, must be a 90.5 because it's got the wheels that bolt up to 91 plus. That's something worth noting. There's a couple of changes that happened in 90. So mine's a 90.5. Both of my vans are, both my 90s. This is the older style mount that I had originally bought that was wrong. So this is 84 through like the first half of 90, and then 90.5 plus uses the bigger, newer mount. So that's worth noting that that's different like that. And see how this is bolted on here? This is stuck here. This is welded on there permanently. You can't unbolt it like mine. I was getting pretty fed up with that fender. I was getting ready to get myself cut on it if I left it there much longer. So I went ahead and I got the fender off. I was able to get the antenna completely undone easily. It actually came apart, probably part of it being low mile, so we didn't have to cut anything here. Looking good there. Look at that though. That is something else. That is a hard hit. That strut might be straight, guys. A couple of you guys said it's probably bent, but here's my thought. the frame right here, as you can see, in front of this took all of the damage. So there's a chance that those might be all right. I mean, we'll see when they get them off. I'll look at them real good, but I do see a problem in that I think the subframe is bent right there. You see that? I'm pretty sure that is really freaking tweaked. So that's no good for us because that's a big ticket item we need. You know, it is what it is, right? And then this alternator bolt, this thing, she's tweaked good. And then look at the water pump, the back of the water pump and the front of the water pump. Look at it, it's just snapped. It's not good, not good at all. I got to figure out a game plan for getting the cherry picker in here, though. I think we'll wrap around here. There's not really a good spot to like pick up these 2 5s with. Like I think we'll wrap around this. That's out of the question. I don't know where to grab on here, you know? Like I could wrap a strap or a chainer on the bottom of the trans, but I'm kind of thinking ahead, like putting that engine back in the other van. It's just like, how am I going to do that, you know? But I mean, we'll figure it out. Yeah, it's not ideal. This helps a lot being able to walk by this fender now, or lack thereof. The van is up in the air now. Got 2 jacks under the front end. Got both front tires off the ground. I just got the cherry picker out here. I just forgot about the fact that the engine for the 90 was literally still on this, you know, on a board. So I had to figure out how to appropriately lift it up since it was the good engine and get that off of there. That was a whole ordeal, but we're here now. We've got the cherry picker and we're gonna pull this motor out the not so nice way. All right, so here's the rigging we've come up with. Just a nice little strap here. Just kind of looped around a couple of times. It's pretty. It's definitely pretty. It's secure. I don't know. It picked the whole vehicle up when I tested it, so that ought to be good enough, right? This is a little loose here. You'll see this right here. This might slip a little, but this is the secondary loop anyway. I just don't want it to like fall and start unraveling. So as long as it's hooked in here in some form, it should be all right. Like I said, we're not doing anything pretty. What I need to do, I think I'm going to start by trying to get these 2 out quick with the impact. I think they'll come out. That'll free this up. That just leaves that. This passenger side axle is physically broke off. It is snapped off. This is the axle that's broke off. So this isn't a problem. The driver's side axle that looks the worst, that's still connected. So I might have to pull that tire off and get at it. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to try it, see if it'll just fall apart, you know? Just pull it out, maybe. I don't know. We'll try. All right, I was able to get that front motor mount unbolted after I've kind of picked the motor up to get a little better access to it. So that's all out of the way. We just got to clear the transmission coming out of that bar, and then once that's clear of that, we can kind of pull it forward so we can clear the engine from the firewall. I want to give it a shot here, see if I can pull it up. The only thing we're going to have issues with probably is that trans mount over there, maybe. But we'll cross that road when we get to it. I'm just going to see what happens. All right, take 1 engine removal. Hopefully, you only take. Probably not, but, you know, you can hope, right? Just popped there. Something did. Something let go. Alright. It's a good sign. I think the little AC thing's got to come out. Starting to rain, I think. Yeah, it is. Great. Great. Great rain. Yep. Oh, shit. That's not good. Panic, 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 panic. Start moving all this stuff. I didn't know it was going to rain today. Alright, got all my stuff transferred into the shed. But I got the tires off now. We're looking on this side. I think that strut looks okay. I think that's going to be alright. Because if you look here at the subframe, everything looks straight there. There's no creases, no bends. This all looks good on this side. As you can see here, there's two pieces of evidence that this transmission's original, hasn't been out before. See this sticker right here, factory sticker, that's still on there. And the number 2 here, which is what I was going for, this piece of tape over the hole for the bolt for the transmission mount. This is a really key indicator that that's still, you know, never been off, because this obviously is still there. So I got to get that out to get that trans mount out of the way for this transmission, to get it out. That's what I'm in here for. I was looking at this axle. I might be able to just pry the axle out of the end there. That's kind of my thought here, just to kind of get it loose. The other side's already all loose. Show you over here though. This is where we start hurting here. Looking at this side, I think this strut looks straight. It maybe. What isn't straight though is right there. That took a really bad hit, and I think that this hit was a result of the axle getting shoved back into it, which is what snapped the axle, as you can see. Broke that thing up, broke the whole joint. And then right here, that all got pushed back and it kinked this side of the subframe. So what does that all mean? At the very least, the subframe is junk. That control arm could be bent. Hard to say. Hard to say. The brakes they're brand new on both sides. So here's our new front brakes right here. These look good. Pads look good. The rotors look good. Everything looks good there. Maybe struts. I think everything else got bent around it. I think it kind of held its own. That's kind of where I'm at anyway. But we'll see when it comes apart. But yeah, this is all nice. Hardware all looks good there. That's really unfortunate, this subframe. Something else. Look at this rot right here. And it probably got blown out more, because see how folded this frame is here? There's a significant rot hole going on right here between the two layers. Actually, if I keep pushing, I'll push all the way through. So there's a significant structural rot hole right there that would have needed patched. Numbers matching. 1989 Dodge Caravan transmission bolt tape. $100. $100 on eBay. Take 2. Now with less transmission mount. Trying to clear the bent frame rail. It's going to prove to be a challenge, I think. Ooh, power steering lines. Power steering dealt with. Ow, 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 ow. That fucking hurt a lot. That fucking hurt a lot. Ow, let's get a concussion. Okay. Hopefully. Yeah. Problem is, the whole thing's got to come forward now. Looks like a CV axle, which is halfway popped out. Okay, so it's a catalytic converter. That's who's playing games. That is a little bit of a predicament, that catalytic converter. Funny how that helps a lot, actually. Yeah, catalytic converter's out. Should have got that before. I think maybe the issue it was, though. Well, there she's out. I think I would have saved a little headache if I'd have cut that before I did anything, but hey, it's out. I didn't think it would pose as much of an issue as it did, but it is, or it did. It's in good shape, though. Like all the honeycombs and stuff. This isn't broke. It was like, well, why are you looking at a catalytic converter if it's in good shape? Well, because we're going to need one. And I don't really care for performance. It's a 2.5. So I think we even have enough to work with here. If we just kind of cut this off, we can even, because we need this one with the shorter pipe. So I think we'll be able to use that catalytic converter. Good. The engine is out. We just need to pull it away from the vehicle. And, well, that job is done. So I guess this is one way to remove the water pump. So you just take that off, and you just take your gasket, and you just cut it off. And that's how you remove the water pump on a 2.5 liter inline 4 out of a 1989 Dodge Caravan. Well, it spins over free. It's got compression. So in theory, it's good. However, I've got some worries that that snout on the crank could be tweaked. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't. But when I had that's why I took the pulley off and everything, because I wanted to really spin it over and look at it. There's a chance that that is bent. There's something funny going on. The belt's chewing on the end of this. This is freaking hitting here. I'm worried that it's like that, because that took a hit from something. I don't know how or why or where or what, but it's something that we'll have to look at if and when we have a time to use this engine, or it's up on a stand. Just something to note. Otherwise, let's. I think it's time to drag it out of here.
Life is hard on the garage floor. Salt, snow, oil, tools, kids, trucks, it all adds up. Old Dodge Podiums was built for real life, not showroom promises. Our professional grade.
Well, there it is. The drivetrain has been removed. Engine, it might be okay as long as this crank snout isn't bent or something funny because of whatever it hit. Should be okay. Got a lot of good stuff here. There's still some good parts on that transmission, you know. I guess this cover's good. Those are always nice to have. I've had them rust out. I think the pan is good. The diff cover took a whack. In theory, the torque converter is good because we got to separate this all anyway. You know, stuff like that. But here we are. She's pretty stripped down. Like, look at that. That is unreal. That is a very, 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 very hard hit. So I guess the hit favored the right side over here. And this is still bent over there, but it's not bent nearly as bad, you know. It's pulled in and bent. But she's out. That's all there's going to be to that. Suppose we got a rack and pinion we can pull out at some point. A few little miscellaneous pieces here and there, but she's pretty much, that's going to be it for that. All right, well, that does it for the engine removal. Today's task is to separate this engine and transmission so I can get this on out of the way and onto the wherever I put it, I guess. I don't know. It's parts, it's junk, but we need to get that engine so it can be put on that stand right there. And most importantly, get this whole hoist set up out of the way, because I'd like to pull the van forward, because what I really need right now over there on the 90 Voyager is the taillights out of this one, at least the good one, and then I think the harness for the other one. Because I'm in the middle of sealing up some leaks and stuff, and the taillights were a leak point. And so that's where I'm at, and unfortunately this is backed up to that F250, so this isn't going anywhere until this is taken care of. I recovered the Copart sticker in one piece, mostly. I decided after all, I'm going to rip it off and leave the torque converter bolted up. I think it'll be easier for me to hold the torque converter to undo the bolts. But that being said, I got something I'd like to show you that I just saw. What's that guy doing down there? That's a Champion spark plug. Yes, it is. So I suppose that's the old number 3 that got dropped when they attempted to remove it and put those auto lights in. And there it is. Been there a long time, as you can tell. But there it is. Oh, that's funny. Well, you know, that starter's original because it's got a heat shield on it. Isn't that cute? Got that thing out of there with the harness. Well, there she is, the poor thing. And there's our torque converter. Anything special? I don't really see anything special about it. It's here, it's present, it's done the thing. Torque converter, it's got some pink paint on it, but I don't see anything fancy about it. So now all we gotta do is just get at these 18 mil bolts here, pop those off. Should be good to go. Well, we got the flex plate and everything off, and I've got the engine sketchily up in the air here, ready to slot the stand onto it and get it pulled off. Well, there she is, the 2.5, out of the van and away from the van and on a stand. And there we go. The van has been rolled forward and it's blocked. And with the key, we should be able to open the hatch. Oops, forgot about that. Hello again. How is it in here? Oh, can I even get the key out? There we go. Key has been removed. Oh Oh yeah, these weren't any good, that's right. All right, let me get a board. All right, hatch is open. I kind of pulled that taillight out. And here I've got this harness. And the reason I was going for these harnesses, at least with this side, this is not rock hard, and therefore it stands a chance at sealing properly. So I think we're going to use this. That bulb has seen better days. So is that one. I think the bulbs in the van in cherry are better than that. But this is the harness I wanted. We'll undo this taillight properly, because then we can put this one on and it's not all busted up, and it should look a little nicer. And if this is the end of this video, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time as we tear into this van some more. We've got lots to do here. There's lots of parts here.